Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's the Shoot. This is normally what my weekly episode show, where I talk about the good and the bad going on in the world of professional wrestling. Then we have a main topic. Now, as you know, during this coronavirus situation, I've not been doing my normal show. I've been doing just main topics, and that's what this one is. This is a main topic. However, next week will be a back to normal show where I will be doing put over, I will be doing Barry, and I will be doing a main topic. Now, some of you may wonder why there was no show last week. Well, I have to be honest with you. I was just tired. I was tired and I was fatigued, and I just needed a rest. And I have a lot of stuff going on as of right now. I've got my I'm trying to do this class where I can for IT. So I'm trying to do that, and that's really the main thing. And I'm just getting up early 3 days a week, and I'm not getting maybe enough sleep or whatever it is. But I'm just right now I'm just in what I am. So there might be times when I need to take a week off or two, for just to relax the brain or something like that. So at this point, I don't plan. I think I'm going to be doing probably the next 4 weeks. This, next 4 Saturdays of shows. This one, next week, probably be part two. This I think they gotta get back to normal, but part two of the main topic. I like this topic I'm doing, so probably do some more of it. Then I think we have the NXT Takeover in Your House predictions. After that, and then we have the Backlash predictions. After that, so that's going to be kind of interesting. So I think we're all going to have some fun over the next couple of weeks, getting back into the groove thing, getting back into some normalcy here on That's a Shoot. But as episode 65, we're just going to do a main topic again, and we're doing the greatest iterations of wrestlers' characters and things like that. What do I feel is the best? Their best version of the character, so that they have portrayed or they have become or whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna go through this. We're gonna do 10, and like I said, next week more than likely, unless something else happens, we are going to do. We're probably gonna do 10 more. So yeah. So with that being said, let's get ahead and let's get started. So first up is John Cena, and what is the best character of John Cena? And I think that's the Doctor of Thugonomics. I really do. I think his ruthless aggression one. He says, he thinks this is a failure because it didn't get over. I think, that's on him. I enjoyed it. I don't necessarily know if it's a failure, but he's probably very harder on himself than normally. And then, of course, I think what's come after the Dr. Thugonomics character has been the most polarizing character of John Cena. The one where you get the, I guess it's the John Cena wins LOL, or whatever you could say about their John Cena. The Golden Shovel John Cena, if you want to put it that way. I don't know. I kind of think that's a little bit overrated, but who knows. But I think the Doctor Thugonomics, that's what got John Cena over, was the Doctor Thugonomics stuff. The white rapper gimmick and everything that went with it. I think that's what got him over. That's what made him to the big stage. That's what made him a star. That's what made him the WWE champion. And I think that was, again, that was just it really did change what especially what they're talking about with the Ruthless Aggression documentary that they did. It's what changed the whole landscape of WWE was what John Cena did, and John Cena made that rapper gimmick, and it's what made them be able to go on and continue on without Austin and The Rock and everyone else. So yeah, I do think that was kind of what that was the stomping point for John Cena's career, and that was I feel his best character iteration was definitely the Doctor of Thugonomics. So what was Hulk Hogan's best character? I think it was NWO without question, because I think without NWO Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, I don't think there is a 83 weeks podcast. I think it's probably called 44-week podcast, or it's called maybe 50-week podcast, but it's not called 83-week podcast, because I do think when Hulk Hogan turned heel and became Hollywood Hogan and brought in the era of the NWO, that changed the business for what it is. It became more reality based, and he became more character driven. And gone were the Duke the Dumpster Drosy's, and gone were the Man Mountain Rocks, and gone were the everything else, and came along were the Heartbreak Kid, the Generation X second people, and what came along was you know was the Stone Cold Steve Austins and the Nation of Dominations and everything like that. All of that was brought in with the NWO, and Hulk Hogan, and that doesn't start without Hulk Hogan turning heel. And I think it truly was the the most incredible thing to happen. And again, like I said, as just mentioned, I don't think it was. I don't think without that they continue to have Hulk Hogan continue on to be the babyface, and they just brought in Hall and Nash as two regular old Joes and everything like that. They didn't do the NWO. They didn't do the Hogan heel turn. Again, like I said, I don't think it's an 83-week podcast. I think it's a 44-week, or it's a 50-week, maybe 55-week. It's not 83 weeks. It's not the year and a half domination that Nitro had over Monday Night Raw. It just isn't. So, and who knows if wrestling has the boom that it is, because wrestling has the boom because of the Monday Night Wars, and Austin gets hot, you know, and Austin could still have gotten hot, and he still have been on the road, and WWE would still be pushing it, and maybe WCW just goes into oblivion, but it's just I don't think it's the same. I think everything hinged on Hogan turning heel, and that's was one of the reasons why I think Hulk Hogan's Hollywood Hogan character from the NWO is his best character iteration. Randy Savage, what was his best character iteration? I think it's the character that was around after he came back from his retirement, like in 92 to when he left WWF in 94. I think that one was his best character iteration. The Macho King with him and Sensational Sherry, I think was really good, and I think his Madness character was fantastic, and when he joined the NWO and WCW. But I think that one between 92 and 94, that one was really, really fun, because when he came back after, because he had that retirement match with Ultimate Warrior in 91, I believe, and everything, and then SummerSlam 91, there was the whole thing with the Undertaker and Jake the Snake attacked him and everything like that, and then he was reinstated so that he could go after Jake and everything like that. And I think when he got reinstated, it was more of a lit fire, because in real life he didn't want to retire. But of course Vince was thinking that he was getting too old to be in the ring. So he kind of had him retire. And then of course they realized that they could use him to draw back fans, so they brought him back. But then of course once again Vince thought again he was still too old, so then he put him on commentary. He wouldn't wrestle very much. That's why he left in '94. But I just think that it was all good when it came around, and he was and he was truly fantastic and doing that run. So I really think that it was very, very good in 92 to 94, that era. I think Macho Man was very, very good. I think that was his best character iteration. The Undertaker. The Undertaker's best character, in my mind, was without question his Ministry of Darkness. I mean, the music, the looks, the goatee, the everything about that character, I think, was so awesome. The Undertaker has always been a great character, and Mark Calloway, as we have learned now from the last ride, he's been very protective of that character. Has been very, wanting of the whole thing, and he's never been one to to be a type of you know great kayfabe type of person, anything like that. It very much seems like that. When he would, when he would go out into public, he just, he would be still be into the character. Really, he still would have all of that character stuff with him and everything like that. So he was very protective of that character. Really, never going out of the line. Only and then once he, and even when his American Badass run came around, he still kind of protective of that as well, protective of the business, And even though I think a lot of people do think that American Badass Taker is maybe a better, is like almost like a better character because it's not supernatural or mystic or anything like that. I think for old school people like me, it's it was kind of wrong because it didn't come back, because it really wasn't the same. Now, to be very honest with you, when he did come back as the kind of like the dead man, um, he was a better worker, for the most part, you know. But it wasn't, you know, But I just think that it should have been the dead man. He should have been the dead man. They could have made the Undertaker more human without him having to ride bicycles and ride ride motorcycles down to the ring and things like that. But they wanted a bit of a character change, so I guess they didn't. But and to me, that's actually his worst iteration. But again, the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, I think that one was his best version of his character. The best version of Chris Jericho, I think, was the undisputed version when he was the first ever undisputed champion. I think that one was no. A lot of people are probably gonna say it was his almost his Nick Bockwinkel impersonation when he was the best at what he does and everything like that, and he would use all of the big words and would wear the suit and he joined the trunks. He went to the trunks instead of the long pants. Um, Now people would say that was his best version. But I didn't think the undisputed version was his best version, and when he was that version, he was fantastic, and I think he was a joy to watch, and I loved it, and now that's my favorite version for me. That was also around. I think that was also around the time um when the King of the World came out, when he got Saliva to do King of the World, and he was doing that. He had that theme music, so that's a part of it as well. So yeah, it's all leads to those situations. So you could probably say what was that situation? It was probably when was it? It was from late late 2001. He turned heel. He turned heel doing that whole invasion angle. So it was late 2001 to about what late late 2003, early 2004. Because remember, he had that whole thing. It was him and Christian were doing the thing with Lita and Trish, and then at WrestleMania 20, Trish turned heel on him with Christian. You know, so it was yeah, it was from late 2001 to early to WrestleMania 20 version of Chris Jericho. That's the best version for me of his character. Now this is probably maybe one of the hardest ones, right? Mick Foley. You're not talking about like Mick Foley had so many characters, right? He had the Cactus Jack for the longest time. Then he was Mankind. Then he even did little Dude Love, and there was then he was himself for several years. In WWE and in TNA. So who was what's the best version of Mick Foley? Where it's his original Mankind gimmick, the original one where he had that menacing music to begin with, and then when he would win, it would be that piano music, and that piano music would soothe the savage breasts, so and it would be so it was that man that the original Mankind. That was the best Mankind. Now, you know, because I think it was he was deranged, and he was just he was a great character. It really was, and I think it was so great to figure out who this guy is, and who and listen and listen. Everything changed when they did that they did those clips in '97, and he started to get cheered, and he was starting to become a fan favorite. And they changed the character, and I guess I can understand why they had to change the character. The character went from more a demented and deranged character to almost a more cunning and you know, cunning type of character who could get deranged, you know, if needed to be. Um, but for the most part, it was always a that original version. That's the best Mankind. It's the best Mick Foley character that there's ever been, and without question, that's 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 one of the great characters of any era of professional wrestling. The best version of Triple H, I think it was the DX version. It was the DX, the Shawn Michaels DX version of his character when he became the leader of Degeneration X. I think that was when he was at his best, character wise. I think he could, because he could talk, and he could, you know, he could do everything. He had such great timing, and everything that they did was amazing. It was funny. So many great moments in history. The DX, the Nation of Domination spoof of everything like that. Um, maybe, no, not maybe, probably very now, you know, um, insensitive. you know, he didn't go full, you know, X Pac in anything like that, but still, um, can't do it now. They probably will never show it again. So, but there's some really good and funny stuff. So, yeah, I think that was the best Triple H. I think a lot of people are going to think, well, listen, Triple H best run was probably late '99 through 2001 when he tore his quad off the bone. You know, that was the best version of Triple H, and I think that was the best version work wise. That was his best thing as a work, because he had great matches. He did great things in the ring, and he told great stories, with that work. So I think maybe in ring wise, yeah, that was probably his best work. But I think the best character version of Triple H is definitely the leader of the Generation X. That's what I think. The best version of The Rock. Oh, this one was the easiest one to come with. It's Hollywood Rock. 2003, when he comes back as the heel. The music, the you know, is and then he's at anything, as you can see from the picture. He got the leather, he got the big Brahma Bull belt. He was incredible. He was incredible for those 4 or 5 months that that he was around. Just he That's fantastic. If you've not seen it, that's just, it's the greatest iteration of his character without question. I mean, Rocky Maivia, I think, it has not been a total dud. His nation work was, I think, tremendous. You know, his corporate Rock was pretty darn good. Obviously, the Rock, when he went away from the corporation and just became the most electrifying man of all of sports and entertainment. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with him and what he did with that. But still, I just think the Hollywood Rock the Scorpion King, however you want to call it, heel Rock. That was the best iteration. The stuff he does with Toronto is just incredible. You can find it on YouTube. You can go on the network and find it. Just go and search heel Rock 2003 and sit back, relax, and enjoy. Get ready to laugh your ass off. It's just some of the great stuff that's ever been done. The best character iteration of Sting. So this was a very tough one for me because I've chosen one that wasn't around too long. It's the NWO Wolfpack version of Sting. And I know a lot of people look at it as, well, wait a minute, he was this was he spent so many months trying to beat up the NWO and Hollywood Hogan and everything like that, and so then all of a sudden to just join another version of the NWO. You know, this was not Hollywood Hogan's version. Yes, this was Kevin Nash's version. This was with Macho Man. This is with Conan, and this was with Lex Luger who had joined, and this was with and then he joined because of Lex Luger. So this was not what they did all of those months for with Sting. This was why is it the best character iteration? Because I just think at this point Sting was he was there to just and to be honest with you, I can't give you a good solid reason, but it's just my favorite because I just enjoyed the red and black face paint. I enjoyed him showing his character, and I enjoyed him doing the too sweet and everything like that. So I can't help it, but this is must. I just feel like this was hit the best character for Sting. It was him going NWO Wolfpack. And finally, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. What was his best character iteration? I actually think it happened when he came back in '95 from the 3 power bombs of Sid, and he came back as a babyface. And from '95 until he changed it to the DX character in '97. I think that this was the best Shawn Michaels for me. I think character wise, it was funny. It was great to see the arrogance and the thing as a babyface because you never seen that before. It was basically his heel character, but the jabs were going towards the heels instead of the babyface. The arrogance was going towards the heels instead of the baby faces, and he was accepting of the crowd and not looking down on the crowd. So it was he even called it the click as a little obviously from the the little nod to his clique members, Paul Nash and X Pac and Triple H. Call it the click. They even had that, so I think that one. I think that was the best Shawn Michaels for me. I think that one he did, and this has never been about the work. This has been about the character. But he did great work over this time as well. The match with Mankind at Mind Games in '96 is just totally fantastic. The the Iron Man match with Bret Hart it's so effing good. It really is. People anybody says that's overrated. It isn't. You don't understand good wrestling. You enjoy the little silly shit. You're the ones enjoying the dick spot, and everything like that. And, instead of enjoying the catch can wrestling that is. You know, the tag match with him and Austin against Owen and the Bulldog were in '97 on Monday Night Raw and they won the tag titles was fantastic as well. So I mean, this is just He's the greatest performer of all time. One of the true icons of the wrestling sport. A lot of people got into wrestling because of him, and because of this 1995 to 1997 character of, the heart babyface character of the Heartbreak Kid. So that's the best character iteration of Shawn Michaels. Alright, y'all, that's gonna be it for me now. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you think are the best iteration of these characters. Let me know what you think about my feelings. Just give me all your feelings. Let me know down in the comments section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go to patreon.com/AJTrip and become a Patreon. When I get to a certain amount of patrons, I'll be opening up the voting mechanisms to where you can choose what you want to see here on my YouTube channel, what you want to hear on my podcast, and what you want to see me play on my Twitch channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. I am out. Do not forget, also, next week, back to where it was supposed to be. That's a shoot.